Hi, Fidel here. We're going to show you how to make a great Italian sausage, perfect for pizzas, but you can even use the Italian sausage with your pasta sauces and things like that. It's an excellent sausage, and one of the good things about making it yourself is you're going to be able to use it raw right on your pizza and just let it cook right there on top of your pizza. And the oils and everything will just kind of release the flavors right onto the top of your pizza. It's a great tasting sausage. We'll get started, show you what we need. Okay, right here in this bowl we have 600 grams of ground pork. You can use pretty much any ground pork that's in your supermarket, but usually like a shoulder pork works really nicely, and make sure it has some fat in it. If it doesn't have any fat in it, you're gonna pretty much be losing the flavors and the umami of it. Okay, we need fennel seed, and this is about 5 grams. This is 5 grams of fennel seed, and you can see this is the brand I'm using, just McCormick fennel seed. And this is freshly ground up. I ground it up myself using this. Okay, so 5 grams of fennel seed. We're going to use a half a teaspoon of finely ground pepper. This is a Japanese brand of finely ground pepper. You can grind the pepper yourself, but just make sure it's very finely ground. And you're going to use 1 even half teaspoon. And I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of a good quality balsamic vinegar. And finally, I've already pre-measured, but 12 grams of a good quality sea salt. This is a Kirkland pure sea salt, fine grain. You can get the Mediterranean or I think this one's probably somewhere from South America, but in any case, get a good quality sea salt. Okay, these are the things we need. I'm going to go ahead and make it, excuse me, Mia, excuse me, okay. Okay, first, dump in the fennel seed. Okay, I'm going to measure out half a teaspoon of black pepper. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Sea salt. And 1 teaspoon balsamic vinegar.
This one's
too tight.
This one's wrong.
Yes, we're going to put 1 of those. So, very carefully. Okay. Just kind of drip it around. Okay. Okay. Now the mixing process. First I'll just kind of cut this stuff in with a spatula. Later I'll work with my hands. But I want to get everything as evenly mixed as possible, so this quick cutting in process helps things along. Okay. I want to keep the spatula handy because at the end there's going to be some residue of meat and fat that's going to be stuck to the bowl, and you can kind of scrape it off and add it to the mixture. So I'll keep this off to the side and go ahead and start mixing with my hands. Just going to be picking it up and kind of folding it into itself. Somebody working with a pizza dough or something, or a bread dough. But using more open fingers, kind of like a fork. And you can obviously see, especially if you're looking in high definition, where the darker spots and the brighter spots The darker spots have, you know, some of the ingredients, and the brighter spots have yet to be touched by these ingredients, but we want to even this all out. Keep going until you don't see any darker spots and everything looks like an even color. So we'll just go ahead and keep working that. The salt is going to, over the course of time, begin to break down the proteins and kind of work as a tenderizer and as a preservative at the same time. The balsamic vinegar, while we know it's going to add some flavor, also is somewhat of a preservative as well. So whereas this pork had not been added, had not anything added to it, would probably go bad in about 3 days after purchase, depending on the expiration date, I suppose, on the package. But now that we've added salt and vinegar, this is going to last us in a refrigerated state. If it's if it's airtight, keeping the oxygen away from it, it's going to last for about, you know, at least a week. We can go a little bit longer, but I like to use the sausage between 3 to 6 days after making it. Okay, so this seems to be pretty well incorporated. And next we're going to get some Saran Wrap, and we're going to make a like a sausage shape out of these things. And it would normally seem like, why make it into a sausage shape if you're just going to be using it on pizzas? Well, one of the things that you're going to be doing with the Saran Wrap and make it into a sausage shape is to kind of expel as much oxygen away from the meat and keep it away from the oxygen over the course of the next 3 to 5 days, because otherwise the meat will start to discolor, and it's also just protecting it. So the Saran Wrap serves that purpose. But also, when we make our pizza, you could supposedly roll up little bits like into little balls, like you get like in a Pizza Hut or a Domino's Pizza or something. You could roll up a bunch of these balls, but that's very time consuming, and it's also not that easy to be throwing little pieces of raw meat onto your pizza that have already been balled, because they'll start sticking to each other, and I like to have more of a melded effect going, where I pinch off pieces, maybe about like that, and I just drop them onto my pizza, and you'll have little shards of meat kind of sticking out, and as it cooks, those pieces of meat just kind of meld right into the cheese, and the flavors of the oil start to mix. Oh, sorry about that. Start to mix in with the cheese and the other toppings, and it just makes for a better pizza eating experience. Okay, this is about mixed, but you can pre-cook this and then add those little balls to your pizza, but what you'll end up doing is losing a lot of the oils, and then, you know, like anything you cook twice, you know, it's not as good as when it was originally cooked. So anyway, like I said, you're going to be sticking this little pieces of meat of this sausage right on your pizza, and it's going to be cooking in your oven anyway. And if you're cooking a Neapolitan style, it's going to be cooking in, you know, like 800 degrees, 900 degrees. Just make sure that you're putting small pieces if you're cooking in 800, 900 degrees at like about 60 to 90 seconds. You can put bigger pieces for longer bakes. So if you're putting your Italian sausage on a pizza that you're cooking for, say, 5 minutes in your home oven, 7 minutes in your home oven, you can go with bigger pieces because they'll cook thoroughly. But the bigger the piece, the harder it is for it to cook thoroughly in shorter bakes. So just remember that you want small pinches for short bakes, and you can go with bigger pinches for longer bakes. And what I consider a long bake is probably between 5 to 6 minutes. A short bake is 60 to 90 seconds. And of course, if you're cooking something like a Chicago pizza, that's a really long bake, so it wouldn't matter how big the pieces are. Okay, so that's about thoroughly mixed. Okay. Next, I'm going to quickly clean this hand, spread out some Saran Wrap, and we will form the sausages. Okay. One moment while I wash my hands. It seems like my daughter is home from work, so her voice will be on YouTube. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do this in two parts. One, I'm going to be making a spicier Italian sausage and a regular one. Right now, what I have here constitutes a regular Italian sausage. So I'll take about half of this. The other half I'm going to add some crushed red peppers, and that'll make it into a spicy Italian sausage. This one is just a basic sausage. So I'm just going to form it like that. Okay, clean my hands. Okay. This is relatively easy to do, but you might have to make a change of Saran Wrap every once in a while. Give you a better view of what I'm doing. Okay. You have to open. And just kind of press it outwards, squeezing it outwards, but not too hard. Well, hi, Anna. My daughter behind the camera, looking to get something. She's gonna go get a snack. You can form it as thick or as thin as you want. It's not really going to matter, but I like to go somewhat thin because it makes pinching it off while I'm making pizzas quickly much easier. So basically, once it's all in there, pizza baking day, I'll take out a very smaller, very thin one, and just pinch off pieces, and throw them right on my pizza. And, making some progress here. Make sure your fingernails are not too long, otherwise you'll puncture the Saran Wrap. Let's get there. a stronger Saran Wrap, you should have no problems. Every once in a while the Saran Wrap will break. You just get a new piece and keep going until you get a nice long, thinner sausage. Okay, almost done here. Okay, so my daughter's having problems somewhere. Okay, almost done here. And the telephone ringing. You can see it's daily life as usual here in the Montoya house. Okay. Now, put the sausage almost out to the right length we want.
Honey.
We'll stop right about there. Okay. I'm going to get a new piece of Saran Wrap. This is going to be get a good clean piece of Saran Wrap because this Saran Wrap has been worked and has become somewhat weak. So, pretty easy to just roll this out onto the new Saran Wrap. This is garbage. And this is the final step here. Fold that over tightly, get the air out, and then gently roll it. You can do one last little stretch, but it's not really going to matter. You want to pinch off where the oxygen might be still there, and then roll it back towards yourself, like that. And once it's got a little bit of tightness, you can pick it up and get it really tight. Okay. That is an Italian sausage. Put this in your refrigerator between 3 to 6 days. 7 days is still pretty good. 3 to 6 days, and it'll be beautiful tasting Italian sausage for your pizza or for your pasta or whatever you want to do. That's it. Thank you for watching.